Imagine a kingdom drowning in spiritual confusion. Israel, under King Ahab and his foreign queen Jezebel, had turned its back on its own God. Temples to Baal, a Canaanite storm deity, dotted the landscape. The official religion was a state-sponsored spectacle of idolatry. And in this charged atmosphere, one man stood alone. His name was Elijah. He wasn't a politician or a general. He was a prophet, a rugged figure who appeared as if from the wilderness itself, with a single, unyielding message for the king. Israel's God was the only true God. This conviction brought him to a sun-scorched mountain called Carmel. On one side, 450 prophets of Baal. On the other, Elijah, alone. The challenge was simple. Call upon your God, and the one who answers with fire, let him be God. For hours, the prophets of Baal leapt enchanted, gashing themselves in a frenzied ritual. The only answer was silence. Then, it was Elijah's turn. He repaired a broken-down altar, drenched it with precious water in the midst of a drought, and offered a short, quiet prayer.
The response was anything but quiet. Fire fell from a clear sky, consuming not just the offering, but the wood, the stones, and the very dust, even licking up the water in the trench. The crowd fell on their faces, shouting, "The Lord, He is God." It was a total, undeniable victory, but the high of that victory was fleeting. When Queen Jezebel heard what happened, she sent a single message. By this time tomorrow, you will be dead. The man who had faced down hundreds of prophets, who had called fire from heaven, now ran for his life. He fled deep into the wilderness, collapsing under a solitary tree, exhausted and broken. He prayed not for deliverance, but for death. In his mind, he was a complete failure. The grand spectacle on Mount Carmel had changed nothing. The regime was still in power, and now they were hunting him. This was his lowest point, a prophet of power undone by a single threat, lost in a valley of his own despair. But it was there, in that absolute desolation, that God finally met him. Not with another display of overwhelming force. Elijah journeyed to Mount Horeb, the mountain of God, and waited.
A great wind tore at the mountains, but God was not in the wind. Then an earthquake shook the ground, but God was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but God was not in the fire. And after the fire, there came a gentle whisper, a still, small voice. In that quiet moment, away from the crowds and the spectacle, God renewed his servant. He didn't scold him for his fear. He fed him, gave him rest, and reminded him that he was not alone. He gave him a new purpose, a new mission that looked beyond the immediate conflict with Ahab and Jezebel. Elijah's story isn't just about the fire on the mountain. It's about the whisper in the wilderness. It shows us that faith isn't only for moments of public triumph and earth-shattering miracles. It's also for the quiet, desperate moments when we feel abandoned and defeated. His life stands as a powerful testament, a map for navigating both the incredible victories and the crushing valleys. It teaches that the same God who answers by fire is the one who speaks in a whisper, meeting us not just in our strength, but most profoundly in our weakness.